Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining Second Acts. We are back. I'm saying we are here. And we've had many guests on this show. And we're going to have many more guests on this show. Mm-hmm. But there's only going to be one person that comes on this set that can say that they knew me since I was 12 years old. That's and that they helped raise me.
Right.
I'm saying people have helped mentor me and guide me and direct me as an adult.
Right.
But I remember when I was a little dude back in the hood where nobody knew my name, dusty kid. You know what I'm saying? It was like one guy we looked up to. And I want to bring that one guy to you today. His name is Mr. Dominic Williams, a.k.a. OG. Big homie is in the building. You know what I'm saying? So this podcast, it's been a long time coming.
Right.
This interview is forever conversation. This is just one of every conversation we're having to we're no more. But we just want to collectively give shout outs, man, to people who are behind the wall, because you know that's where the heart's at.
Yeah.
And people who are in the struggle, their families. And, you know, since we started 100% behind the wall, exactly, on the ground. But then we started realizing that there's more people.
Yeah.
There's just people who are in the free world who are struggling. And I didn't think our information could impact them.
Right.
That it was only for people locked in a cell because you had to be in a cell to get it. Then when COVID hit, my phone went crazy. Dre, how do you handle being locked in your house all day?
Right.
How did you handle being away from people all day, not having human income? You couldn't go to the store. You couldn't go to the mall. You couldn't go to the movies. I'm like, that's doing a bid. Right. The whole world just did a 1-year bid.
Right.
No movies, no beaches, no parties, no funerals. You want to go to the funeral? No.
Right.
Want to go to the wedding? No.
Right.
That's what we stay upstate. Yo, I want to go to my grandmother's funeral? No.
Exactly.
Can't go. You know how many people died in the last year and they couldn't go to funerals?
A lot.
That's stress. That's the stress we used to feel when we couldn't go. That's what the world is feeling now. So our lessons from behind the wall now apply on this side of the wall.
Right.
And so I want to not just reach out to people who are in our circumstance, but just people who are stuck and struggling. You know
okay.
I mean, if we're at the bottom, we got to lift the whole thing up. That's how that goes.
Okay.
So, Senor Williams, it's been a while. Welcome, man.
Welcome,
you know
welcome.
Oh, it is.
Second Acts.
Second Acts.
That's right.
Securus Original.
Securus
You know
Original.
what I'm saying? For real. You know what I'm saying? Tell them about yourself, man. I could talk about you for days and days, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to let you talk about you because you grown.
Yes. So we ain't going to talk about no...
Your journey. Your journey.
My journey started off... I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia. I moved from Savannah, Georgia to New York at a young age, and at the time, my father was a wanted man as well. And we left New York and went to Boston. I was little. And when we got to Boston, my father got arrested. As soon as we pulled up in Mattapan, the feds was there waiting on him. They apprehended him, took him away. Everybody, I'm looking like, okay, who's these dudes in these suits and stuff? But they were feds. After that, I was running the streets as a youngster, all over Boston, going to school with your sister and everybody else, and stealing cars, doing the things youngsters be doing. Then I started indulging in a little drugs, and from there I was off to the races. I was hanging out real late. I'm talking about sometimes I wasn't going home. I'd buy clothes on the streets and throw the ones I had on away,
Just keep it moving.
And keep it moving. But then I committed a murder in 1981, and I was incarcerated. They gave me a natural life sentence.
No, they gave us.
Yeah, they gave us.
Us. You didn't know it at the time. There was a bunch of us who watched you ride around the hood in them cars.
Right. Exactly.
And on them motorcycles. And we used to be like, yo, there goes Dominic.
Right.
There goes Dominic.
Right.
There goes Dominic. And that was like the highlight of our day to have you shoot by us on a bike or a stolen car. That was like the highlight of our day.
Yeah.
Then when you caught that case and they sent you, I didn't understand nothing about criminal justice. We just knew the word was Dominic got sent to prison.
Right.
And then we found out the name of the prison,
Right.
Walpole. So
State
we used to literally meet up at our mailbox and we talk about, I wonder what Dominic's doing today.
Right.
I wonder what Dominic's doing today.
Right.
I wonder what's like for Dominic today. That's all we talked about until we actually got there.
Right.
Until I got there. I left him. I was like all in on they're probably tired of me talking about it. I was like, all I talked about was what is Dominic doing? What is Dominic doing? And that was like a focal point of my day. And when we meet up, you'd be in our conversations.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14 years old. We on the block wondering what Dominic's doing in state prison.
Yeah.
And I had put that seed in when you went, I went.
Right. I know that's a seed I wish I'd planted, in a lot of youngsters, but it happened, And when I went to prison, I became involved with gang activity. And then, we know I became the number one all over the state of Massachusetts. And from there, they kicked us out of the state of Massachusetts.
When I pulled up, when I caught my sentence and they put me on a bus, they sent me to Walpole. I'm in the new men section, and you was yelling across.
Right.
Because you had the list of people who was in new men.
Yeah.
There was a dude there was a snitching on the block. You know what I'm saying? You was trying to get at him.
Right.
We all knew the story.
Right.
I knew who he was. I knew what he did, and I knew who he did it to, being you.
Right.
But I was little at the time, so we happened to come at the same time.
Yep.
So you in the window yo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's that? You was like, it's Dominic. Man, my whole world went upside down. I'm like, no.
Right.
I'd have done anything to hang with you in the street.
Right.
And all I had to do was rob a couple of people and come to the penitentiary. It was like, I made it. Then they let us out in population. They shipped him out.
Right.
Put him on a rat bus.
Yeah, put him on a rat bus.
Set him out. Then I got to come. You met me at the gate.
Yeah.
I was like, this doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, right.
I'm actually walking down. It's like walking down the hall with Michael Jordan, your high school basketball player.
Yeah.
It's like I'm walking down the hall with my hero. Then we were together for 3 or 4 days. Mm-hmm. Then they packed me up and sent me to the classification center. Yeah. I was like, they're like, Norman, come down here. I'm like, we're sending you to classification. I don't want to go.
Right.
That's why I don't want to go. They said, no.
They
sent me to classification.
Right.
So I go to another prison.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, they're going to take you. I get there. My first question, how do I get back to the max?
Right.
They said, you can't go back to the max. They said, you're 18, it's your first bid.
Exactly.
You ain't never got no history. I said, I don't want. You're going to send to a medium security prison, and we'll get you a little job, put you in school, or the rest of it. I said, I don't want to go to school.
Right.
I don't want a job. I want to go hang out with Dominic.
Right.
I waited 100 years to be next to the dude and hang out with him. You trying to send me to some medium, get a job.
Right.
They were like, you can't go to the max. We're not sending you. I go back to the block. I'm like, yo, dudes. I said, man, I want to go back to the max.
Right.
Hang out with Dom. They were like, they ain't going to send you. I said, well, what do you need to do to get there?
Right.
They said, man, well, you got to be real problematic.
You got to be real problematic.
Man, I started beating people down on time, instantly.
Right.
I probably had 5 fights in the next 30 minutes. I just started beating people up. Literally. They was smashing people. When the CO came, I told him I'd give him the business.
Right.
They put me in a hole. Every time they opened my door, I jumped on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
After 5 days, it took me 5 days of beating up people, or fighting every single day. They came to myself, the shackles. Norman, get ready. They're like, you're going to the max. Like it was a punishment. Mm-hmm. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
What took you so long? Mm-hmm. When I got back, I was so happy, right? Yeah. I can't hell, Dom, I'm back. He looked at me like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. I thought you was gone.
I was gone.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going with what they wanted.
Right.
And we got to come back, and I was like, for that first 6 months, every single day I walked behind you, or next to you, or near you, and I just watched what you did.
Right.
I watched how people talk to you, how you talk to them. I watched how you move. I watched how you handle business. I watched everything. I just studied. I'm like, okay, I'm watching my dude. He's the number one dude in the system, but I'm from the hood, so I'm in the team. I just watched every single day.
Yeah. Every
single day, just studying. We used to be in the cells, and dudes would come by, and I remember one of the brothers came by crying about his mother dying, another dude coming to you crying about his daughter, and I'm like, and you doing counseling.
That's right, yeah.
I'm like,
counseling, yep.
Gang boss, why are you therapizing? Why are you dudes in there? I'm seeing the toughest dudes in the prison crying inside your cell about something with their family.
Right.
And you doing therapy. I'm like, it didn't click, but I started catching on that it was more than just being the toughest guy.
Right.
And it was like taking care of people, not just bullying people or pushing people around. But I used to sit and watch this every day. And I used to come to you every day, let me a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
You can pack it. And then one day I came to you, I said, let me a pack of cigarettes. You was like, listen here, man.
Yep.
You and this pack of cigarettes, right? You said, you gave me a whole carton of cigarettes. You was like, yo, take these, flip a couple, and keep a couple. Yeah. Stop asking me every day for a pack of cigarettes. You know, I was so little on what you said. I went back to the block. It was probably 2 months later.
Right.
He was like, yo, Dre, you ain't asked me for no cigarettes in a while. What's going on? I said, do what you said do.
Yep.
He said, what are you talking about? I started loan sharking cigarettes.
Yep.
I had about like 150 cartons of cigarettes
Yep.
off that one carton.
Yep.
Because I was literally not going to make you disappointed in how I did it. And I just grew it, and I just went, but you said, I forget who you said to come, man, get them cigarettes out of this cell. You took off my cigarettes. He was like, send them down to the block. Good job, but send them down.
Yeah, you had a whole bunch too.
Yeah, but that was, for me, that 6 months we were together. I never forget, December 5th, 1987. They locked the prison down.
Yeah, locked the whole
They
prison
shipped
down.
y'all all out, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying, for some leadership, gang stuff. And the doors opened, and all y'all were gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Since it's Federal Bureau of Prison.
nah, they sent y'all to O'Connell. They just locked y'all down.
Yeah.
So I come out, Dom's gone.
Right.
You know what was a reminder for me?
What's that?
I came home from the first grade, my father was gone.
Okay.
And nobody said why.
Right.
I come out my cell on December 5th, y'all gone. I was like, and I didn't know it. I became the de facto boss of Walpole, or the
Right.
Max, because I was the closest to you.
Yep.
So everybody said, Dre, what do we do? I'm like, what do we do? I've been here 6 months. What do you mean, what do we do? He said, you the closest. Since I was the closest to you, they all turned to me. And I can honestly say I made every bad decision known to man. Any bad decision you can
A bunch
make.
of people got beat up.
But when I was making decisions, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Every bad decision you can think of.
Yeah.
And then I got sent to the SEG, then I got shipped out. But then it's just crazy. What happened? When you go to the feds?
Well, when I went to the feds, I continued the criminal enterprise, as they call it, you know. Still not thinking about the streets, going home, you know. And then I wrote you, you know, kept writing you, like people popping up in prison, asking them, you know how we do the prison line, asking them about the different guys that's pulling up from my area, if they was odd or not, because we used to take care of a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
Then you went home, which was good, and you know, I was hoping for the best for you, because you was wild. I thought you was coming back, honestly, because you was you was going off, but you got your head on the right, you know, in the right direction, and look at you now, you know. And then from there, I started thinking. I kept seeing people leaving behind you with life sentences as well, and so I started thinking about, hold up, what am I doing wrong? You know, because y'all always was saying the law library and legal, but I wasn't even thinking about that, because once I got that life sentence, that was it. I was stuck, you know, because I came in when I was 17, so I wasn't thinking about nothing else, you know, but violence. And then I started going to the law library. Went to the law library for 2 weeks. Lo and behold, it was sitting right there.
Appellate issue.
Appellate issue. If I went to court, I got sentenced in 81. If I would have did my legal work, I would have did 8 years. Jury instructions.
Gone home.
It was sitting there
You
since.
should have did 8 instead of 29.
Right. It was sitting on the books all that time, sitting right there.
You was too busy being a boss.
Too busy. Too busy running around prison, being a boss, you know. And, you know, it didn't help me none, because, you know, I was being shipped all over the place, locked up in, you know, every
Boss life.
every federal prison there is. And, you know, I met a lot of good people that was bosses and stuff. And, you know, especially like the kid John Gotti, before he got his tongue cut out, you know, because he had the cancer and and stuff. But, you know, a lot of them dudes are real good dudes. It's just that the life they lived, you know. But lo and behold, now I'm on this side of the wall doing the right thing.
So when you was inside and you was living the life,
Right.
and you watching us go home, because I went to, you made me go to law library.
Right.
Then I didn't want to go to the library. I wanted to hang out. But I finally went to the law library and I reversed my case.
Right.
Then a few other cats go to the library, we reversed their case. So what is it like? I always tried. I wanted to be the boss. I was trying like hell. You saying I couldn't catch it. You know something? I had a chance to catch you.
Right.
When dudes got hit up on the yard at the Hill, and dudes sent me word, dudes made a move, and had I retaliated and took down these 7 dudes,
Right.
I'd caught you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'd have caught you. I had you. In my mind, if I put work in on this last time,
Right.
I caught him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got real stats. I would have went to the barbershop with stats.
Right.
LeBron is officially better than Michael Jordan.
That's right. That's right.
I was coming with stats, and I didn't do it. I woke up. I said, I always say in my speeches, I realized I was a king of nowhere.
Exactly. We was king of nowhere.
But
Definitely.
the truth is, you were the king of nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was right hand to the king.
Right.
So how was it being the king of the prison system?
Well, you had to be on point a lot. You know, that's why I'm very observant. You know, I watch everything, you know, because you never know what's going to come around the corner or whatever. Even though, you know, I was good with my hands and a knife and stuff. So, you know, you always was alert at all times, you know, and you took care of your people. You know, you never really, you know, did your people bad. You know what I'm saying? Some bosses do their people bad. You know what I'm saying? You look out for your family. You know what I'm saying? The people that surround you. You know, and I made sure everybody, even if they was in the institution I was in.
What was the mental shift from being the boss and living the boss life to I want to go home? Because you can't. Trust me, I've been almost in your spot, but when I was that guy, because any joint you ain't in, I'm the boss of.
Right.
So when I decided I want to go home and go to law library, I didn't want to hustle no more because I couldn't hustle on the yard and oversee that and be in a library.
Right.
And I couldn't really manage dudes on the yard hustling. If I'm in the library, dudes ain't gonna respect that.
Right.
So I had to let go of the hustle and focus on the gate.
Well,
so for me, it was like, okay, how am I gonna do this? Which one I'm gonna do? So when you had to make your decision of I want to go home versus staying here forever and be the boss.
it was I would say not weird, but people was still looking for me to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? To look out and in Federal Bureau of Prison, your word is it.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and when you talk to people and you say, okay, I'm gonna do this, you know, I had to turn away a lot of people.
The mental shift from being the guy. Because dudes was cutting me off. Dre, we got beef on the yard. Dre,
Right.
we got static over here. Dre, the COs are acting up. Dre, I was always a guy who
Right.
fixed everything.
Right.
When I stopped going,
Right.
at first dudes didn't understand. Yo, Dre, nah, man, call CO boy, man. I ain't rolling with that. It did feel like I was leaving them hanging or something.
Right.
And I had to make, it was a hard decision.
Yeah.
I can go out on their yard, which means I'm gonna get caught up again. Or I can not go and let somebody else go in my place.
Okay. Well, what happened with me is, you know, once I realized the change and me finding the legal,
The appellate issues.
the appellate issue that released me, I immediately petitioned Massachusetts to come back to Boston so I get a lawyer. And when I did that, they moved me back, so I knew I was on the right road. You know, but when I got back to Boston, they threw me right back into the new maximum security, which was nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been in so many prisons.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, they said, okay, we're going to give you a chance and move you to a medium security. So I'm like, okay.
Medium security?
Yeah, so they moved me to Norfolk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is, got a high wall,
40-foot wall, but still.
Yeah. And when I got there, I started doing things I never did before, programs. You know, so because I knew that there was a possibility that they might let me go, so I started doing a little changing. People was looking for me to do different things, you know, asking me about the numbers and stuff. I got involved with it, but then I pushed it away, you know, because it was causing too much tension, and then I had to stay up on top of people because people was moving around a lot. In Norfolk, they was moving around a lot.
Yeah.
And I just started getting into programs a little bit. You know?
You know who came home from Norfolk?
Who?
1960, I forget what year, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X came from the same prison we was in.
Yeah, I mean, when I got to Norfolk,
Right.
I read his book.
Right.
And he's my third cousin, for the
Right.
record. When I got to Norfolk, I ran around to try to find a cell he was in.
Right.
I went to the old timers. It was like, yo,
Right.
what unit was Malcolm in? What unit
Right.
was I wanted to see it. It was like I was in
Right.
a museum. And for like the
Exactly.
first 4 days, I'm running around Norfolk like I'm in a museum.
Right.
Because that's history.
Exactly.
So now we are 40, 50 years in advance,
Yep.
and you coming out.
Right. And it was really strange there because I knew that Malcolm was there and a lot of other people was there that, you know, high ranking and stuff. And when they told me that I was gonna be released, I was like, I really didn't know. Like,
You're 28 years on a bus to I'm dying here.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm about ready to go. And so, the usual things, you give everybody, you had 3 TVs and all that other stuff. You give the TVs away and all that. And when I went to court, you were there, and the family was there, and they told me I had to go back to Norfolk to get an NCIC check to see if I had some more open cases. I'm like...
One more check for the night specialist.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, man, I'm scratching my head now. I'm like, you want to, check on, see if I had any open cases in Federal Bureau of Prison. And they said, nah, so then they released me, and you and my family was out there, And it was good, man, to see the other side of the wall. Now it's really good because, we moving.
Man, listen, the day you walked out, it was like the day I walked in.
Right.
And I got a chance to hang out with you in there, to get you on this side of the wall. It's like, man, listen, this is phenomenal.
Right.
Like I said, no, you can't stay with me. When I came home, I got to think for space.
Right.
Having lived in an 8 by 10 foot cell for like many a years, right? I got to think for space.
You do.
So anybody that's ever been in one of my houses will tell you I probably have 1,000 square foot bedroom.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go. It's
That's
mandatory.
Right. Yeah.
If I ain't got 1,000 square foot bedroom, something wrong.
Yeah, you made sure you open mine up too.
So when you came home, I think I built you like a 700 square foot bedroom.
Right.
I tore walls down, triple the size of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Your bathroom was bigger than this room.
Oh yeah, it was definitely bigger than this room.
And it was the least I could do.
Yeah, 4-point bathtub, everything.
All that. Clawfoot, we call it wood rim thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was in there.
It was nice.
But to see you come home, my biggest thing when you came out, other than you being out, was I've been doing this work, helping people.
Yep.
I was like, dude, if I can do this much,
right,
and I knew this much, and I was this big, how much more can he do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, for the first 7 years, you was like, no.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, Dom, let's go to juvenile center. You're like, no.
No.
Let's go to the jail. You're like, no.
Yeah, I was.
Let's go. No.
Yeah, I was, stiff arm and everything,
Now that you're actually doing it,
right,
I had to trick you to do it.
Oh yeah, yes you did.
It was like I would ask you to come every single time you tell me no.
Right.
So when I got the contract to go to South Carolina,
right,
they built it up like it was like really, really a hard scenario. I came and he was like, yo, I need you to come watch I tried every positive thing to get you to come behind the wall. And you said no every single time. I'm like, yo, Dom, we can make some money. Dom, we can help some people. Dom, we can go on a trip. Dom, it's a good thing. He was just like, I don't care.
Yeah, I was like, nah.
Nothing made a difference. I said, okay,
Nothing.
let me go old school on him. I need you to come watch my back.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, gotta go. We
Right
backed
there.
up. I was like, that worked. I
Right
could have tried. That worked.
Right there.
See, I was so busy being honest and integrity and morality. I didn't think about doing the hustle. I'm like, tell him what he needs to hear.
Right.
I need you to watch my back.
That's right.
So when you came in, we was able to help South Carolina get that on track. Now we're going around the globe just helping people. What advice do you give people who need to start over? We're going to get to people starting over. You were at a stage where you needed to start over.
Right.
What do you give that person advice?
I would tell them to get prepared now. I'm saying don't wait until it's that time for the door to open.
Right.
Get prepared now because even though I had a life sentence, if I would have got prepared to even try to get out, I would have been home, and that's being done right now with a lot of young people. They're in prison saying, well, I got life sentence.
Not even trying.
Not even trying. Not even, not even looking at no law books, no nothing. Start now, man, because there's so many loopholes in cases that it's unbelievable.
I got a friend named John Ratliff, one of the top business minds in the country. He teaches people, run your business from day one like you want to sell it.
Exactly.
Because he says one day you're going to exit your business.
Right.
So you need to start from day one and run your business as if you're ready to sell it the next day.
Right. And that's what people need to do in prison.
You need to do your time like you're going to get out.
Right.
Don't ever think you're not getting out.
Right, because, even though I had a life sentence, if a person has one day, they're never guaranteed to come home, as we know.
Oh, yeah.
You can have 5 days in prison, 5 days in the county jail, and not go home.
There's some people you go home in a box.
Right. It's easy to slip and fall, and, we done seen all that.
There's a lot of slip and fall accidents.
A lot of slip and fall.
A lot of slip and falls.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you give the person who's actually, okay, I started over, I'm trying, It took me 8 years. It took you a few years. But what do you give advice to the person who's trying? What do they do? What's the advice?
I would say to them, take your time and go over your legal work, and also make sure you pull your family closer, because family is everything. Even though some of our family members, don't want to deal with you because you're in prison or whatever it may be, or because they're out of state, still pull them close to you, because when you do come home, you're going to need somebody to, help you out,
You've been out 10 years.
Right.
You defied the odds.
Yes.
70% of people go back in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if they add our math up, I'm saying we're supposed to go back in 6 days.
Right.
I almost went back the first day.
Right.
Arguing with the PO, but no crime.
Right.
But how do you stay free for 10 years with that history and that old mindset lingering in the background?
Well, I'm not going to say it was cookies and creams, because, when I did get out, I was staying with you.
Yeah.
You was in DR, chilling, enjoying the sun and stuff, and, I didn't have nothing really as far as, I had a little money and stuff, and I had friends, but all my friends was ex-cons, and they were still in the life, and that life started calling me back. But, at some point I had to stiff arm that, because I wanted better, and what I mean by I wanted better, I didn't want to go back to prison, because I seen how easy it was, when I did get out, I was on the bracelet for 6 months and 5 years probation I had to cop to, so they wouldn't take the case back to court. Allegedly, they said they still had evidence, but due to my prison history, they felt that they need to monitor me.
But you're out. I know you moved from Massachusetts to another state.
Right.
Why change environments?
The reason why I changed environment, because some of it has to change environment. Like I said, the streets are still calling me, because all I knew was murders and,
stick-up kids.
Yeah, everybody was, doing violence. Everybody that was involved with violence, that was my best friends, and I didn't know, as we say now, civilians, and what I had to get away from that. And even though there's violence in every state, I didn't know them in that state, like where I'm at now, Georgia.
You can go someplace and just start over.
Right. So that's what I did. I ended up hooking up my fiance, and at the time she had a transportation business. So I said, let's take that and move it down south. And we did that, and we were successful with it. We started moving seniors, and
You get your own company.
Got my own company.
So we're going to make this message about bosses. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of dudes in jail. I say there's 3 types of people in the penitentiary.
Right.
There's a 10% who are bosses.
Right.
There's a 60% who are rank and file. There's a 30% who are victims. They get beat up just for waking up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 10%. I want you to talk to the 10%. The rest of the people, they're on their own for right now.
I think with the bosses, they need to change their way of thinking and think better. As far as violence don't cure everything. A lot of people say people only stand violence. Okay, that's to an extent. But I found out now, you don't really even need violence. If you talk to a person the right way, they understand. So instead of using the violence now, I talk with a person and they get the feeling, what I'm saying is actually true, and ain't no in-betweens, and they normally go with it.
Question. I know me personally. I have violent thoughts almost every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I routinely think about smacking somebody in the face or running somebody over. I'll be riding down the street. I'm like, I should run them over. There's some random people on the sidewalk. They'll just be like, I should just run them over. And it'll just a random thought will come to my head. Or I'll have a conversation. I'll size people up. Or I'm looking at spaces where the weapons are. All day. So
Yeah.
it used to be, those are first thoughts and I acted on them when I was inside. Now, since therapy, counseling, practice, I wait on my second and third thought. And I don't go with the first one. So I used to feel like there was something wrong with me because I still had violent thoughts. You still have them?
Yes, I still have it.
How do you deal with yours?
And the thing about it, what's good now is that I'm dealing with we dealing with the prisons and police, you know, the sheriff's office and all that stuff. Because at one point, I used to run up on police and take their guns, security cards. I just walk up and knock them out, and I got that. You know. But now that I'm working with, you know, allegedly like that side, you know what I'm saying?
No, they ain't alleged.
Yeah.
Dude, how is it? Did they actually have you? Right now, for those who don't know, we run a prison in South Carolina.
Right.
And you're in charge of a whole prison unit. You're like the unit manager, for lack of a better term,
Right.
of a prison block.
Right.
Where you have like control over everything. From the time dudes wake up to what they study, to what they watch on TV, to what they do throughout the How was that?
It's really crazy because I never thought of, you know, I look at myself, I was in that predicament. This is why everything we're doing right now works, because we were there, you know, and we were there in a way that a lot of people weren't. Like you said, them
10, 30, 10, 16,
yeah,
30.
we never went underneath the 10.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I saw that in the 60.
so, you know, we know what it takes. You know, we know everything about the prison system. You know, we know everything about the prison system, what time and what makes people react. And, you know, when we talk to people now and they know we done did that.
So if I'd have told you when you was in Florence ADX, locked inside of a mountain with John Gotti and Larry Hoover and all the rest of those guys, that you were going to be free,
Right.
have your own house,
Right.
be married to the lady for 7 years,
Right.
and run a prison,
Right.
what would you have told me?
Hell no. Excuse my language, but, you know, I'd be like, nah, it's not going to happen. You know, but now, like we say, God is good, changed our lives and changed the way we think, man. It's really happening, man. And we're making progress in so much of a way. That's why people call you every day.
Know what made this happen? God bless him, Jimmy Crawford.
Jimmy Crawford. Right.
Jimmy Crawford, OG, looked up to him, solid dude. And I used to talk to him when he just liked me. He was like old time and he just liked me. We was always cool, talked all the time. And when he went home, I used to call him.
Right.
And he used to complain to me, not complain. He used to tell me of all the 30%ers who were in charge in places. Because when dudes come home, people are quick to hire that 30% because they're easy to work with.
Right.
They're manageable. So they were all getting jobs. When he would pull up, they would all block him.
Right.
Because they knew he was a 10%er.
Right.
And they didn't want no parts of him in the building because they had trauma.
Right.
And they were scared of him.
Yep.
So they would block him from all these jobs. And he used to be like, yo, Dre, these dudes are blocking me. They blocking me. So when I came home, I said, I'm going to set up a company and a program for the 10%, and there will be no blocking. If you're in the 10%, you're automatically in.
Right.
And I came home, and we hired every boss dude that was out.
That's why a lot of them in Boston do have a lot of respect for you.
Hired every last one of them.
Right.
Based on what he taught me
Right.
and what he was saying to me.
Right.
Because had he not said that, I'd have thought something totally different.
Exactly.
So now we're in there. Dude, we listen, we're going, we're going next week, 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Back to the prison we came
When
from.
when they write me a check, I don't care about, I don't even work for the money. When Massachusetts Department of Corrections write me a check for coming into one of their prisons, I'm going to frame that thing.
Right. That's right.
That's going on. I'm not cashing the first check they give me.
That's right.
That's going on the wall in a frame.
That's right.
I don't care if it's $1 or 10 million. When it says Massachusetts Department of Correction is paying Andre Norman to enter one of these buildings, I'm framing that thing.
Oh yeah.
That's historic. They're gonna pay you. It's not about the money.
Right.
But the people who used to hold you, I say oppress you, now we're calling you.
Exactly. And that's what we released. We're
released from that. We're going back.
Yeah. It's gonna be, it's gonna be like, especially walking that yard. It's gonna be, a lot of people they're gonna be like, man, nah.
Yeah.
They ain't, and especially with me, they ain't even gonna believe it. They
21 years for me, 10 for you, and we're going back to Mass DOC to help right the ship.
Right. And it's gonna work too. And some people are coming home.
Innocent people are coming home.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ronnie. Shout out to your boy Sean Drumgold.
Diamond.
Shout out to Diamond Jones.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? All people shout out to Sean Ellis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All 4 people exonerated. It's crazy. on the exonerated side. But I
We
mean,
need MT out here too.
I did my crimes. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I mean, I'm not even gonna fake like I was like the innocent man. I did every last one of them.
Right.
I got lucky with a pellet issue
Right.
versus a not guilty or wrong guy.
Pellet
They're just
issues.
they're just people I believe who are in there who need a chance.
Right.
I had a captain in the county jail tell me one time because he gave me the best job in the jail, even though I came in the most hostile.
Right.
I asked him one day, "Why you give me this job?" He said, "The best can be the worst if you give him a chance."
Okay.
He said, "So I gave you a chance, and you determined what side of the line you ended up on."
Right.
He
You
said,
just
"My
something
job
to
is just to
take.
give you the chance.
Right.
It's your job to stand up to the line."
And that's what we're doing right now.
Shout out to Captain Coleman.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing now in these prisons. Changing the mindset, giving them a new outlook, and it's working, man. You know, because they see it in us. You know, why not put the worst of the worst up front now that they got their life together? It's working.
So we go in, and it's cool that we get to sit with certain people. I mean, I've always believed that everybody needs to hear your voice.
Right.
And it's been just like a mission of mine, man, to put you on every platform humanly possible where people can hear your voice. Because you're the voice that got me moving in a direction. So if you motivated me, I know you can motivate others. So for the folks who don't know you or haven't met you, I'm saying, what's your advice to them?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say I'd like to thank London Business School for coming up to Norfolk State Prison. When you brought them, when I first started, interacting with civilians, you brought 10 people up to see 10 prisoners. And we sat out there and talked for a day. I think it was a day or two.
Yeah.
We sat out there and talked, strategized and stuff. And that started clicking in my head, because I've been watching everything you was doing, because every time I get mail, I get different stuff saying you're doing this, you're here, you're there. And that was a good, positive look for me too. Gave me that sense of direction as far as thinking outside the box. I always thought outside the box, but being in prison, outside the box was getting stuff to come into the box, and but now, looking at the things you have been doing, I'm saying, that really I took a heed to as far as dealing with people, because I'm a people person, but like you said, sometimes I'll be like, stiff arm them, and but at the same time, the things you have been doing now, especially with Securus and the other companies, are really great. And for those that are in prison, I think they need to look at you and other brothers that's doing good outside, and start thinking of different strategies to make their self better, because there are writers. We know a whole bunch of writers in prison.
Books galore.
But they don't write no books. They just got the manuscripts, and so they need to start really thinking of better ways to better their lives, even though they're in prison. Like I said, man,
One of the greatest rappers in America is locked up in Massachusetts. Shout out to Orange, man.
yes,
Is just phenomenal. I mean,
Right.
people scream Tupac, people scream Rakim, people scream Jada Kiss.
Right.
I scream Orange, man.
Right.
It's not just because he's from the Bean.
Right.
It's he's that dude.
Right.
He just. Somebody had a line that said, "There's people who are better than Jordan who are upstate that just didn't get that break."
Mm-hmm.
When I hear that line, I think of Orange, man.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people out there in the prison system like that. But at the same time, looking at you, because you've been doing great, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do appreciate. They may not tell you, because they might feel that sometimes you come off arrogant. I hear it a lot. They tell me, "What's up with your man?" But nah, they just don't know that. Sometimes you have to put up that defense, because you do work with a lot of people, and some people take your kindness for weakness.
You know where I got it from?
Yeah.
When you left December 5th, 87, and we separated,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people get these new friends. Or
Right.
they join different teams, and my
Exactly.
thing was, I'm on team with Dom. That's
Right.
it. So
Right.
everywhere I went, I refused to accept people who weren't from our team.
Right.
If you weren't part of an organization,
Right.
we can be cool. We
Right.
can be associates. We can't, I refuse to let anybody come within my, Dre my roadie. No, he
Right.
ain't.
Exactly.
I was in Indiana, and dudes try to recruit me to an organization.
Right.
I said, nah. I said, if my man's come here and I'm on your organization, you tell me I got to ride against them. That ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So I respectfully decline.
Well,
When they recruit me to other organizations and people want to, I'm like, nah. I mean, my whole mindset was I rock with Dominic, and that's what I, through 14 years with us. I've seen dudes. Their team goes away, they join another team. Their team they're on 5 different teams. No,
Right.
I rock one hat.
That's right.
And I did it from door to door. So when I come home, when I meet people,
Right.
it's not like we can be cool.
Yep.
That's just the mindset that I have that we ain't going to be so close. So I'm not here to. When I go to prisons, I'm not trying to make friends.
All right.
I don't go to prisons looking for friends.
Right.
So when I go into these prisons, who's like, yo, you my story. Nah, I'm here to help you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You your story.
Exactly.
I'm saying? So I'm looking at you, and for me, I tell the cats, when you get out, don't throw drugs over the fence.
Nah.
Don't worry about sending chicks up to the penitentiary or
Right.
phones. Go get your people, man.
Right.
Go get your people so they can come out here and live a good life.
Exactly.
Don't make them comfortable in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want you to be comfortable behind the wall.
Exactly.
I got enough finance. I can send you money. I can send you stuff. But you still living in an 8x10.
Exactly.
And I couldn't be happy with you living there.
Right.
So for whoever's listening, if you love your fam and you love your people, you need to get out, then go back and get them.
The right way.
The right way, yeah.
Yeah.
And then y'all can do your thing on the other side. So we've been doing it. It's been fun. And for me watching you, like I said, we go places, right?
Right.
Every warden we've been to loves you and hates me.
I know. That's
Every place,
that's
every prison,
strange.
every single prison we've been to.
Everyone. Jail and
As soon as you
everything.
walk in, they gravitate straight to you and grab onto you like, oh, I'm with Dom. I'm like, you're like, drag it out of here. I'm cool. I ain't thin skinned, but they're like, yo, that dude think he too smart. They're like, they just love you. Everywhere you see, everywhere we go,
Right.
every warden just gravitates automatically to you.
Right.
You need to have a warden development class.
Okay.
You need to create a warden leadership
I
class
think we might have to do that.
because it's there. You've seen it.
Yeah,
And-
we got plenty of points for them, you know, because we've been around so many wardens, you know, all over the place, you know, and we know their actions and deeds and what they don't do and what they should do, you know, because a lot of them don't make rounds, they don't
interact.
communicate, they don't interact. A lot of times you never even seen the warden, you don't even know who they are.
I remember Kentucky wanted to make me a warden.
Right.
And I went and told one of my mentors, yo, I want to be a warden at a prison in Kentucky. He said, no, you're not, Dre. I said,
Right.
yes, I am. And I'm telling my advisor I'm going to be a warden. He said, you don't want to be a warden. He said, 98% of what a warden does is meetings,
Right.
meetings, and more meetings, and you hate sitting in meetings.
Exactly.
The 2% of what you do is interact with people. What you do better than everybody else is talk to people, interact, strategize. He said, you don't want to sit in meetings all day.
Right.
He said, if you take that warden job, you'll be miserable day one.
Yep.
He said, create a training and bring that back. What you
Exactly.
do well. Then you can keep moving.
Yeah.
So we need to create a training for you, for wardens, as well as I'm saying the brothers and sisters behind the wall.
Yeah.
Question. You know, well, we've been doing this. We've been war horses. We done went through all the penitentiaries they had to throw.
Right.
Lewisburg, Terre Haute, Leavenworth. You go Marion?
Nah.
I didn't hit Marion.
Pass Marion.
I passed Marion. Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, ADX, Florence, all the Maxes in Massachusetts, a few
Yeah.
other stops. And we still here.
Exactly.
Battle tested, still here.
Yeah.
But I hate to tell you something. Father Time gonna win sooner or later.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't no dude on the yard gonna get me,
Right.
but Father Time gonna get me. And I realized that when I go, I've been in enough graveyards, enough funerals to see that they're gonna be a tombstone.
Yeah.
My tombstone gonna say Henry Norman, 1967 to 3050. And it's gonna be some things on the bottom of it. Mine's gonna say Harvard Fellow. Mine's is gonna say Honorable Son. And I'm working on a few more things. What is yours gonna say?
I believe I'm going to put gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Thankful.
Yeah.
So that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people. 60% of people who come home don't make it.
A lot.
Why?
Because they go back into the same lifestyle. They don't. The problem's not being fixed.
So if I could put you on a tablet,
Right.
and I could put you in a course and send you behind the wall, what would your class be on to help them make it?
I would do for one, I would do a few different things because a lot of people in prison, they don't think about coming home. It's honestly to tell you, they don't.
Class
think.
one,
Yeah.
thinking about getting out.
Right.
What are some other classes you would do?
Relationships.
How to talk to people.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know how to talk to people, and even like relationship with females, they don't know none of that. They just like, they're
Freeze
stuck.
up.
Yeah. At one point, you was like that.
Yeah, I actually wrote you one time. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
you never taught me how to
You
talk
never
to girls.
How to talk to girls. Yeah. So
I literally wrote you that.
Yeah, I
was
know.
like, you taught me all
Yeah.
this stuff, but you didn't tell me how to talk to girls.
Yeah, that's
remember
it's
that letter?
strange. I remember. I definitely remember that.
I was a beast on the yard.
Yeah.
I come through the yard, shut down the yard. When I came home, the girl was like, hi. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
I went to jail. I was like, between juvie and upstate, I'm going at like 16.
Right.
So the girls, you didn't really get a chance to talk to girls.
Yeah.
And that whole dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I would, them are two good points there, and the mindset definitely need to be changed. That's what we're working on in South Carolina.
So
Because, if you go back in society thinking the same way, a lot of times people in prison, they're not doing crime as much as the level they was doing on the street, but they're doing something.
oh yeah, we hustled behind the wall.
They're doing something.
So to improve the criminal justice system, if we took cats like you and paired you with wardens, what do you think the impact would be on the prison system?
Man, you already know. They'd be like trying to send their prisoners from every state to that prison. Because we be kicking them out, man, with their mindset changed, and they be going in the right direction, and they'd be better men.
What I always say to people, when because they don't get it, prison's like this foreign planet, and people don't understand what prison's like, and why can't people just be better and change their lives and have programs. I asked them, I said, if you were in a foreign country and you got kidnapped by Al-Qaeda and they took you to a prison, how many years would you have to be at that prison before you trusted them? And they all say never. I said, well, that's what you have now.
Exactly.
Folks deem themselves kidnapped from the street versus the state versus United States of America versus the state of Massachusetts, state of New York versus an individual. Now you put them incarcerated. You got them in jail. Now you say, trust us.
Right.
And prisoners don't trust the government.
Right.
Because the government's the one holding them. So I always say to people, if you were kidnapped in a foreign country by an Al-Qaeda group, how many years would they have to hold you before you actually really trusted them?
Right.
And they always say never.
Exactly. And for one thing, say what you mean and mean what you say. You don't tell someone something just to please them at that minute. And that's what's going on in prison a lot.
But as a staff, your word doesn't have to be good.
I understand that, but
as we live on your word is everything.
Right.
They don't live on that premise. Their thing is we just have to get through the moment.
Right. And leave the problem for the next shift. That's not right. Going back to the recidivism rate, there has to be a drastic change. Because the old good old boy thing, that's not working. It never worked.
Never worked. I tell them, when you manage a problem, it grows.
Right.
When you fix a problem, it lessens.
Right.
They don't seem to be fixing this problem.
Right. And me and it's easy. It's easy. You got some knuckleheads in there, but you talk to them right, properly, like human beings, man, eventually it's gonna start clicking. That's why we're so successful in South Carolina.
When they called us to come to Massachusetts, they had the Supermax, the Max, and all the high-level mediums on a list for us to visit.
Right.
I said, I got one request.
Right.
I want to go to the female prison.
Right.
2.
Right.
They were like, huh? I'm like, you have a maximum security female prison.
Bring me
We
out.
want to go there too. Because so often in corrections, women are just left out.
Left out.
they're not killing each other. They're not burning down buildings. They don't really escape that often. And they're just kind of like left out.
Right.
And so when I try to make it a point of reaching out to the female prisons.
Exactly.
Or county jails. And so when we go back to Massachusetts, they're putting Framingham State Prison on our list.
Right.
And every time we go someplace, in South Carolina, we went to the women's prison. I always want to give a shout out to the sisters who were locked up because they got 10 times more trauma to deal with than we ever will. Being separated from their kids, the stuff they had to go through even before they got to prison, the stuff they deal with on the inside. So I want all the sisters who are locked up to know that this isn't just about the guys.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wake up and I say, my sister, my oldest sister has had trouble and been in and out of different spaces. So I see them as my oldest sister.
Right.
So how can I come help all these people?
Right.
But I would skip over my older sister.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to just give a shout out to the sisters inside who are struggling and thinking, oh, it's all about the guys again.
Oh, yeah, the women need
it's
help.
all about the guys.
The women
again.
need the help just as much.
So
Definitely.
So we definitely want people who are out here who are doing this work to try to include women more.
Right.
And young girls in juvenile detention more because their trauma is real.
Exactly.
So we definitely want to say their numbers, nobody talks about their recidivism numbers. Nobody talks about their suicide numbers. Nobody talks about their kids. I mean, there's lines of people to visit us in prison. There's a minimum line at the women's prison.
Yeah.
Mothers and grandmothers. Maybe a sister.
Right.
Everybody upstate got a girlfriend or got an auntie or got somebody coming to
I don't
visit.
think too many dudes are going up there to visit.
Ain't no dudes going to visit no chick in jail.
Yeah, that was just crazy.
Ain't happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a female will come visit you.
Right.
But we ain't going to visit them. And it's that double standard thing again. I mean, we can't do anything about double standards, but we can definitely 1,000% say to them, man, that you matter. We're 1,000% thinking of you. We've created and designed programs that are gender-based, you know what I'm saying, and for you because you matter. And I don't want everyone to think that I'm overlooking people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's no way we're going to overlook the queens.
That's right.
You have way more respect for the women than I am with like your communication. I just like whatever. You be like, good morning, how you doing? Hey, sister. Like, what school did he go to? He went to Westie.
Westie.
I went to Madison. We weren't doing respect lessons over there. We were just kind of like grunting at people.
Okay.
Surrounded by the projects.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to close with, bro? Second acts?
I don't know, man. Second acts.
Second acts? Oh, we gotta get you your own podcast, man. Securus Originals.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? This is a Securus Original with 2 original OGs from Massachusetts, man. Shout out, man, to every major city in this country, bar none. You know what I'm saying? I shout out to every small city in this country, bar none. I don't care if you come from the small, it's not where you from. Like our homie, Skin Tight, you know what I'm saying, who's down in Pollock right now. He's not from Boston.
Right.
He's from a different city that doesn't have the name, but he's as solid as you come, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Love him beyond and above. So I don't care if you're from New York or you're from Albany.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or from Saskatchewan, if that's such a place.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Like they can't say Worcester.
Yeah.
I can't say Saskatchewan. They up there. But Richmond or LA, you know what I'm saying, the Valley or Oakland, don't matter where you're from. If you on this podcast with us, we on this podcast with you. I'm saying if you struggling behind that wall, we struggling behind the wall with you. You got to reach out. You got to say, I need help.
That's right.
We can only bring you that in which you asked for.
Right.
We can send you stuff, but the stuff that you really need, you know.
Right.
So if you want us to be mind readers, it don't work like that.
That's right.
So if you're in the 10%, 6%, or 30%, reach out through your tablet, reach out through your caseworker, reach out through somebody, man, and say, yo, them dudes, because we're selling you, and we say our word is all we got.
That's all we got.
I never went back on my word.
That's right.
We'll come.
Definitely.
If you can hear this platform and you can hear this message and you locked up anywhere in the United States of America, you hearing this, hit that tablet and we'll pull up on you. If you serious about change, hit that tablet. You know what I'm saying? We'll pull up.
That's right.
I got my man sitting here, Don. Big, you know what I'm saying? We got corporate in the building.
Corporate
is in the building.
That's right.
And corporate said that we can pull up on any prison that wants us.
That's right. Let's make it happen.
He said, listen, Dre, I'll pay for a plane ticket to anywhere in America, to any prison that wants you, bar none. So if you're listening to this, you're like, yo, them dudes said they'll come here.
Let's make it happen.
And it will make it happen. It starts with a request.
That's right.
It starts with a request. So hit that tablet, send out that message, and you know what I'm saying? Little homie and big homie will pull up on you, and we can build in person. I'm not good with technology. My niece will tell you that.
Right.
But I'm definitely good in person.
That's right.
And we want to bring this message of second acts to you wherever you are.
Wherever
and if you're out in the world, how they reach us down in the world, they just got to go online and hit us up. We on Apple Play, what a bunch of other stuff. Hit us up, we'll find you. I'm saying we want to help everybody.
That's right.
Tenés persona allá, tú no sabes inglés, no problema. Tú sabes, yo quiero ayudar a toda persona. Tú escribe, tú habla conmigo, yo voy. So, holla at your boys. I'm saying in English or Spanish, we learn in French. We're going to learn what we have to learn to make it better for you because second acts needs to be for everybody.
That's right.
For everybody. So, get at us. We'll get at you. Again, this is the big homie, the guy who I've been following since I'm 12, and I'm now 53. We still rolling. We going till it's over. War horses. I'm saying, so appreciate you. Loving you ain't even the issue. You know what I'm saying? We going to keep doing this, and we want to come do it with you. Second acts.